Hi folks, you do not want to miss this. This is part one of I don't know how many series of comparing the Glock 17 to the Sig P320. Yes, the P320 is the first striker-fired Sig, not Glock, Sig. Glock's always been striker-fired. So, you do not want to miss this. We will go over the size comparison. I got the full size, so the 17 is a good comparison between the two. There are no other ones besides this review on these two guns on the internet at this time, right now, as we speak. So you will get it first from me and see and know what the differences are. Okay, first we have right here the Glock 17. As you see, nothing in the chamber. Okay, dry fire. And we have another Glock 17. Clear chamber. These do have threaded barrels, which of course do not come standard on the Glock guns. These are lone wolf barrels, and they do have a thread protector on top too. All right, I'll slow down because I'm Southern and I don't talk like that. So the difference is this Glock 17 is a Gen 4. This one is a Gen 2. This one is about early 90s, and it has the standard Glock sights on them. This is a 2000s model, Gen 4, only a couple years old, and it does have the night sights, the Trijicon, or these are the Glock, I think they're Trijicon night sights on them. So the Gen 4 is going to be more of a comparison to the Sig P320 because the 320 is a very new Glock. Sig, why do I keep doing that? And this is the newest 17 Glock, which is the standard of their flagship series. This comparison will be good because I'm going to go over a few things that the Glock has and that personally I like. Some of this will be subjective and some will be objective. I do have a grip on this one. Actually, I have a grip on both of them. Both the Glock 17s. They're on the older 17, the one I've had since the early 90s, or maybe late 80s actually. This gun's getting old. It of course does not have any grooves for the fingers because it's a second generation. Probably real close to first generation. I mean, I've got the old box and everything. It's really cool. It's got the sticker on the outside that says like gun of the year and all that stuff. And then this one though, of course, underneath the hoe grip does have the places for your fingers and does have the different kind of grips. There are some differences in the Glocks. I'll go over a few of those. Just because, you know, there's a lot of internet things about the older generation Glocks. One of the things that's different is the spring that you'll see in the newer Gen 4 Glocks. They did have a recall on those, by the way. So if you have a Gen 4 that has a spring that actually looks like the other one that you have not replaced, you've had it for a while though, they've corrected whatever issue it was. I don't really know what it was. But this is the way they used to look. I guess you could put a new one in there, but this gun honestly has it has thousands of rounds through it. And then you can see it's like new. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty anal with my guns. I clean them pretty much every time I use them. Glocks, I know you don't have to, but not that cleaning guns is that necessary, but it's almost therapeutic. I don't know, and I may not do it. I usually do it the day or the day after, but it's just something about sitting down with I don't know, all those dirty rags and just cleaning it out real good. You can kind of get into it really. So if you don't like to clean guns, learn to like it. Use it as meditation. Just be careful. Make sure it's not loaded. And you'll really enjoy it. The reason I have threaded barrels on these, it looks cool, you know, sometimes you want to put a can on there, like a Tyrant 9, which is an AAC product. But anyways, so so you can see This is the older style. The barrel is not the original one. I have it. I'll keep it. That way I have the original barrel that came with the gun and this. The original barrel, even though it had a lot of rounds, this one of course does not have as much through it, because this barrel is only a couple years old. It's like new too, or as well, whatever. I didn't do good in English. So now we're gonna compare it to the Gen 4, and let's see what we got. So this is the case, first of all, for the Sig guns. From what I understand, it is the way that most SIGs come. Honestly, because SIGs are more expensive than Glocks, it is a nicer case. I don't know what it is about the new Glock cases. A lot of them are I'll have to show you, but they're coming undone. They're really cheap. So, as I was saying, wow, isn't that amazing? Just can change clothes that quick. I really have a problem with the new Glock containers. I know this is a comparison show, but what happens is these little snaps here, they have a tendency to pop out very easy, and when they do, it's just a hassle. I'll show you what I mean. Watch now. I'm going to show you how easy they pop out, and I won't be able to get it to pop out. But of course, they always pop out when you don't want them to, and then when you know, I'm trying to show you how easy they pop out. And actually, it happened on this particular gun too, or this case. So, anyways, so what happens is they come off like that, and they have a groove in it that they fit back in, but I don't know why. You know, they made them because you see how easy they click in, and I guess when they're constructing it, I don't know, but I don't like them, and it's just, you know, okay, it's smaller than the Sig case, but these, one thing I like about these, this is not designed to really be a protective case, so if you want to get a safe, you should, but you can put locks here. You can put two, and they just slide out, and then it opens up. Now, they can slide completely off too, so, you know, nothing's foolproof. Anyways, so with the Sig, you get, the case is a little bit larger than the Glock, and this is the full-size P320, and this is really the first time opening it, so you'll see exactly what comes in the case. You got their owner's manual, which will go over how to do whatever you do to it, clean it, the parts and everything. Always good to keep it. They have some advertisements for something called mill.com TW25B. Some lubricant, and they actually give you a little sample of it too. It's kind of nice. Of course, your lock. Does anybody really use these? Two magazines. You got an extra magazine right here, and then the other magazine is actually in the gun. You get a nice holster. This holster is the same holster for the full size or the compact, but it's a nice paddle holster, which you don't get with Glock. It even says Sig Sauer on it. And just to show you, there's the other magazine, all clear, all clear. And then you get your, of course, your P320. Now, one of the things I really think is cool about the Sig that the Glocks do not have yet is the whole concept of this new internal mechanism being able to be taken out and used with different frames. Now, Beretta Nano has that, and I have another review that shows a pink Nano that shows, anyways, basically that's the same thing. The serial number is attached to the internal chassis where the trigger mechanism is, and This gun, unlike some other guns, including Glock, you cannot take the slide off until the magazine's out. A little safety mechanism. They do have an option of the drop safety on the trigger. It does not come standard with that. Do you need it? I don't know. Glock is the first one that had that little. Okay, clear. Glock is the first one that had that little, whatever you call it. The hell was I talking about? See what happens when you get too much going on. You can't remember what you're saying. Oh, the drop safety. And so, that's the little doodad inside the trigger mechanism. It does not put the firing pin into placement until that first thing is pushed. I've never really even thought about it when I fire the Glock, but whatever. Glock was the first one that came up with that. It does not come on the P320, but from what I understand, you can get it. Let me just take this little tag off. So, as far as size goes, I'm going to show you, hold them up side by side. Now remember, I've got a threaded barrel on the Glock, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to not only put them on the table, but I'm going to show you on the table. And what we're going to do is we'll superimpose them so you can see that. Okay, that was good. To be honest, they are so close in size, and that's why I wanted to do this review, because you can compare the 320 to whatever other thing, but this is really what it's designed to be like. So as far as size goes, you're talking like identical. The size is just unbelievably close. So what we'll do is we'll put this back. I'm going to try and edit that out. If not, sorry. Now as far as thickness goes, we're going to see that the thickness is really, again, about the same. If you want to look at the dimensions, be my guest. I'm not going to look at them for you. I may put a little highlight up in the corner here that tells you what it is. But it could be a little bit thicker. The Sig could be a little bit thicker than the Glock. But one nice thing about the Glock, if you look, the slide does appear to be a little blockier, a little bit, maybe a little bit wider. But one nice thing about this gun is that the slide is rounded off, so it's not such a sharp corner. And the Glock is pretty rounded off, well, a little bit rounded off, but not as much as the Sig. And one cool thing about the Sig is the rail has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little teeth, and to me, I like the way it looks. It's really kind of cool. A lot of rifles, with a Picatinny rail, they'll have this look. The second generation Glocks did not even have a rail. It wasn't until the third generation. Again, we're doing a comparison with the fourth generation Glock 17. I do have the second generation, but this is the current model, and that's the current model, the brand new one from Sig. So, yeah, it's a little smoother lines, and they only have one little indentation, so you're pretty much locked in wherever you're going to slide your flashlight or your laser or whatever. I kind of like having the option of having more. So that's the difference there. Another difference is the serrations on the slide. The Glocks are adequate. They're only in the rear, and they're straight up and down. I've never had a problem, but I know some women may have a problem grasping it. So, especially when it's new, it's going to be, the spring's going to be a little bit tighter. But the Sig has serrations on the front of the slide and the rear of the slide. They do have more of a texture to them, and they are slanted. And that may not seem like much, but it is a little easier to grasp. I have to say, it is a little bit easier to grasp, and it's kind of cool having them on the front too. I don't know anybody that would do that, but I guess, you know, if you wanted to, you know, you can pull it from the front. Another nice thing is the slide lock on the Sig is ambidextrous. You have it on both sides, the right and the left. So if you're lefty, or you can release it with your index finger of your hand. So that's kind of a cool thing. I've gotten used to doing it with my thumb. A lot of people don't like to let them slam, you know, like I just did. But the Glock, you only have it on the one side. So if you're a lefty, good luck, because you're going to have to use your index finger if you're operating it left-handed. Of course, your thumb if you're operating it right-handed. Another nice thing about the Sig has a, let's see if I can get this off. Anyways, I can't get it off. I just kind of want to slide it off. But the Sig has a textured grip. It's kind of like the, can't remember the name, it starts with a T. See, I get that CRS stuff. It's a hat on my head. Don't drink it. I don't care. Anyways, some people, you know, I put the hoe grips on my Glock, but some people pay about 17, 18, 20 bucks for the rougher type sandpaper almost type texture. This is characteristic of a lot of SIGs, and it does come on the P320 on the rear as well. Another little feature that may not seem like a big deal, but the magazine well is has a indentation on it, as you can see, without the magazine in it. It is a free dropping mag. The Glock is not. So if you had a sticking of it, it's going to be a little bit harder to grab it and to pull it out. I've never had that happen. However, the Glock I showed you earlier in this, when I had different clothes on, that one, or the magazine I should say, was an older Glock magazine, and it's not a free dropping magazine. At first I thought it was the older Glock, but it's not. It's the magazine. The magazine on that one, as you can see, this one is lined with silver colored metal. The older ones had a lining of black, and they are not free dropping, so you have to pull it out some. So in that respect, I kind of like the Sig having a little bit extra to grab here, and it does, your grip is a little bit longer in the rear, and it fits my hand very good. Now on the Glock, you can't see it with this one. The one I had earlier, the second generation, does not have adjustable grip size, but on the fourth generation it does come with multiple sizes. I'm fine with the one that comes on it. I don't think it makes that much difference. To me, it's not the best way. It's just a kind of a cheap thing you take off and you add this thing. But I know a lot of people have really big hands and they like having that extra grip. The 45s, the Glock 21 or 21 SF even, is a bigger gun, and it already has kind of the large size grip on the back. You do not have that with the Sig, so advantage of that does go to the Glock. Another thing though that you will get with the Sig and not the Glock, now this one I changed out. You will see I have the sights, I talked about it earlier. The older Glock, or actually the newer Glock, the Glocks come standard, and actually it's a very good sight system. That the rear has the nice big U and the back has the so the Sig P320 comes with night sights. That is about anywhere from $80 to $100 option. That the Glock, these cost, I got them at a good deal, and they were like about $90 something installed, which was nice, because I'm just not going to do that. It takes certain tools and whatnot to install them. So if that's important to you, fine. To be honest, I like the regular sights that come on a Glock, but with that said, these are fine. They're good, and it's nice to have the night sights because they are nice. They're not like a glow or just the fluorescent. They actually stay self-maintained, glowing, and they do it for many years. So as I was saying, the Sig also, I believe, is the way of the future. I'm not saying all striker fired guns will do this, but to me it makes sense. We were talking about the Beretta Nano, how you can actually take the inside out and change the color of the frame. It comes in black and OD and then green and whatever other colors. Sig, to my knowledge, doesn't have the colors, but they have the different, not only different size frames, but they have different calibers. So you can use the same trigger mechanism in the 9mm as you can for the 40 and I think 357. Don't think it works in the 45, but so you're getting, basically with one gun, you're getting a lot of options. Now, you will have to not only buy the frame, but probably the slide's going to be a little different too because the barrel length and everything. It's still going to be a lot cheaper than buying a whole new gun because these retail for about $700 to my knowledge. And you can see here, if you look at the serial number, you can actually see here that the serial number is deep inside the gun. So from my understanding, the way that you do this is you do not have to have the trigger pulled. You can pull it back, lock it, and then you push this particular mechanism down, and then the gun will slide right off. That's the first time I've done it on a Sig, and you saw how difficult it was. Not at all. Very, very nicely constructed. Really, really nice. Your spring is nice. There's your spring for your full size. Barrel mechanism comes out very easy. Again, this is the 9mm, and there you have the rest of the slide. You can see that it's very, very nicely constructed. Again, I've never seen the inside of this Sig, and that's the first time I've taken this slide off this gun. So to take the internal mechanism out, I'm not going to do it right now, but from what I understand, you take the same takedown lever and you pull it some more, and then this whole mechanism will pull right out, which looks like it will. Really very easy. But anyways, you have to pull this, you have to pull the mechanism out, and then the whole thing will come out. So really, really, really nice. You've got a lot of metal contact here, just as you do in the Glock, but you can see it's a very nicely made pistol, and we'll see if it's as easy to put back together as it was to take it apart. Okay, we'll get it into lock position. Maybe not. Oh, it would really help if I put the spring back, wouldn't it? Can't do without the spring. Looks very simple. And we'll do the same thing we did before. Get it to that point, and then basically just lock her back in. Let's see. Lock her back in, lock her back in. Come on, lock her back in. Well, I'm going the wrong way, I think. A little bit difficult. I've never done this before. There we go. Okay, so all back together. Again, that's the first time I've done it, so it's going to take me a few times. But you know what's good about this video is you can see somebody doing it for the very first time. You can see how difficult it is, which it wasn't very difficult at all. Another thing, it's kind of controversial to me. It's stupid. On the front of your trigger, trigger guard. There's knurls, or there's serrations. A lot of the first guns of Glock didn't have this. The Sig has it, and the Glock. I don't know what the difference of it is. You can see that the actual trigger guard mechanism is very, very similar. The Sig is actually a little bit bigger trigger, but you know, it just looks like a little more room in there for your finger. And again, remember the slide release is on both sides. I kind of like that, actually. I don't know if I'd ever do that with my index finger like I just did, but it's kind of a nice thing. So, as far as just the biomechanics of the gun and the looks of the gun, the weight of the gun, the Sig is going to be a little bit heavier. You also going to have a difference in the magazine. The Sig magazines are metal lined with a plastic bottom. They both do have the pins to hold them in place. You know, I've got a lot of Glocks. I like Glocks, but I've gotten used to these plastic magazines. I've never had any problem with them, but to be honest, I kind of like the metal magazines. I don't know, there's something about them that just make them feel a little bit more substantial, so I kind of like that. Also, you got the same number, you got 17, so there's no advantage there. 17 in the Sig, 17 plus 1 in the Glock. It's always hard to get that last round in. I use something called an Uplula, and it's made by Butler Creek. If you do not have an Uplula, a universal pistol Uplula, it works for 9, 40 S&W, 45, 357 Sig. If you do not have one, it's the best 30 bucks you'll ever spend. It will save your thumbs, and it makes it a lot quicker to load the magazine. It may take you a little bit longer to, or take you a little bit of learning how to use it, but I mean, about as long as it took me to do that slide. If you do not have an Uplula, it's called Universal Pistol Loader. They do have a baby Lula, which only does 22s. I've never used one. 22s, the ones I have a, most of them have a little finger thing you can pull down the spring yourself, and they only hold 10 or so, so I don't see the reason to have one of those that does a 22. But the Universal Uplula is a very nice. It's made in Israel. Israelis developed it. What more do you have to say? As far as the Sig, I'll tell you something. So far, I'm really liking it. And again, this is going to be a single action, and just like it's going to work just like the Glock does. From what I understand, the pull is a little bit lighter on this one, but we will do a shooting review at a later date. But again, so if you're comparing the Glock 17 to the Sig P320, you're going to save some money on the Glock 17. The Sig is going to cost you a little bit more, but with the Sig, you get a nicer case. That's not a big deal, but you do get a holster. So that's going to be 30-40 bucks right there. I mean, look, some people charge even more for these kind of holsters, 50-60. So you get a holster. You do get the night sights with the Sig. You do not get that with the Glock. You get a little bit nicer rail with the Sig. You get also the internal components that are the same serial number, and you do not have to go through a FFL. You can order the frames, slides, and everything, and that mess online. Just find the best deal you can. They're not out yet, to my knowledge, the separate ones. That's definitely an advantage, and I think a lot of future guns are going to be going to that. As far as longevity, showed you the other Glock 17 longevity. I think you're going to be probably equal. They're both very fine firearms. As far as what ammo, Glocks will eat anything. They just, you can shoot anything through them. You've seen all the durability tests. The P320 is yet untested, unproven, but if you go by the reliability of their other firearms, you know, that's why some of the special services, FBI, whatever, carry SIGs, and then I don't have to tell you about how many police departments carry Glocks. It's an economical gun, very reliable, easy to shoot, great to aim, and I just think that the Glock is a very, very good gun. So also on the SIG you get an ambidextrous release of the slide, and you get a textured grip. You do not have finger, there's a smooth grip. You do not have the finger indentations like you do on the 4th generation Glock. So if you like that where your fingers go, to me that shouldn't be a difference in purchasing gun. Some of the other issues may be. So there you go with a general overview of the Glock 17, probably the most popular semi-automatic 9mm ever made, definitely the most popular Glock ever made, compared to the brand new striker fired Sig Sauer P320. Those are two very close, very similar weapons. Size, as we said, is basically identical. Weight, the Glock may have a slight advantage. The Sig is going to be a little bit heavier, but they're very, very close. So you make the decision. We will do shooting reviews side by side at a later date. Hopefully if you have any questions you can ask them below, and we will be happy to answer anything that we can. Okay, so this is the Catman. N4KTZ was my old call, K4ATZ is my new call. That's not a police thing, that's amateur radio. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask below or comment. If you don't like it, sorry. If you like it, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and then subscribe to my channel, because I have everything from how to unclog a toilet to comparisons on firearms to reviews on some very good ice cream. So we have fun, we have a great time. This is just about helping you out, and one of the most popular ones is how to teach a cat to shake hands. I love cats, and also how to fix an ice maker. These things happen. So I'm very familiar with cats. I've had them all my life, so look at some of my other videos on that. And thank you very much, folks.